Hello, today is a very interesting day for Australia, especially with New South Wales, and I'm about to show you why.
The peak of the crisis still a week away. The Premier has announced she will no longer be holding daily information briefings. Gladys Berijinklian says they are preventing her from doing her job properly and plans to just turn up when she needs to. Now, these are live pictures of Glebe tonight, quickly becoming an area of concern with case numbers rising.
Today, we saw a record 1,542 new infections. The vaccination rate is slowly creeping up. 44.5% are now double dosed. The pace of the outbreak bringing fresh warnings tonight from overstretched paramedics.
Now, I don't know if you noticed that they've changed their language a little bit in relation to how they're talking about Gladys. So usually they're quite positive about her. And usually they're very supportive, and in the past we've all noticed that they're incredibly biased, but just keep watching.
Good morning, everybody.
The Premier's press conference, from a daily 11 a.m. showtime to a no-show.
Sunday will be the last day we officially do the press conferences in this way. The 11 a.m. information will be done by health staff through video link. I don't know how this will be received.
Not well. For millions of elderly who can't or don't go online, the press conference is critical.
So I think a lot of them will find it really quite difficult to not have that every day.
SBS broadcasted in 10 different languages, including Arabic, Greek, Mandarin.
Good morning, everybody.
Key groups the government has been targeting to try and rein this outbreak in. Are you going?
Now that's a good point. There's been I guess, criticism about the COVID-19 deliverance in terms of messages towards groups who don't have English as a first language or wouldn't necessarily be able to do what you and I are doing right now and sit in front of a computer and, you know, watch what is happening.
Into hiding? Why on
Not at
earth
all.
that decision?
Can I just say very, very clearly and loudly to the people of New South Wales, we will be here whenever we need to communicate something very importantly to the community.
Instead, they'll upload a daily video from a health official.
Good morning and welcome to New South Wales Health's COVID-19 update.
We're getting a video message?
I will make sure.
Now, I haven't seen many people criticize this, but they're saying we're getting a video message. Now, I'm not in New South Wales, obviously. I'm in Victoria. But, I mean, if they're just getting a video message, wouldn't that imply that there is no accountability in terms of talking to the media? And wouldn't that mean that the media is not necessarily able to bring up arguments and debates that might, dare I say, be uncomfortable, like we've been seeing recently?
That the health official will provide an information every single day.
But that's not a question. That's not a press conference.
And if there's questions, anyway.
Shouldn't you hold these press conferences until after the peak has passed?
Well, we will never know when that is.
That, despite the government having released the data on when the peak will hit just days ago.
To expect the leader of the government indefinitely to do this every day means that I'm not doing my job properly, and I'll turn up when I need to.
The surprise move came as they announced another 1,542 cases today, an all-time record, plus 9 deaths, with warnings many more are to come.
The worst of the worst in terms of the numbers.
See, I don't think we need to really go into this as much, but the thing is that we all know last year Dan Andrews was under the firing line of heavy criticism, and we're all aware that Gladys has also been behind that firing line, and this will be interesting to see how it plays out, because it really does seem like Gladys is using this in a way to sort of hide from media call-outs and from any form of accountability. I mean, dare I say, a lot of people are going to be blaming the politicians about what's been going on with COVID, but realistically, we know that that's not their fault. It's all in the face of unfortunate events, and I don't envy any politician that has to stand up in front of the nation and say, well, we can't go back to normal because A, B, C, and D. And that has got to be incredibly hard. But the problem is that if you're not there as a leader in these hard times, then I personally feel like a lot of people won't necessarily cope. The whole point of having a leader guide you through these hard times and talk about this stuff and, you know, stand up in front of the nation to say, hey, this is going on, is so we've got somebody who is in control of the situation and that we're confident in with being in control of the situation. Because do I know what to do? Am I a professional in this manner? No, I'm not a professional, but what I do know is that if you have a problem and you're in a leadership position and that problem affects everybody below you, you have to take a stance and be there for those people. And we saw this last year with Dan Andrews. Dan Andrews received so much hate and malice and threats and insults. He was treated very poorly by both the media and by the citizens, and nobody really cared to say, well, hey, like, nobody really acknowledged the fact that he was up there every single day almost, except for when he had to do other things. He was standing up on the podium, right? And he was, you know, saying, well, this is the issue, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to try and work together, stay strong. And he would do that every single day, despite the fact that the media turned against him. We had premiers such as Gladys Berijinklian turning against him. We had people like Avi Yemeni making hate videos essentially on him. People calling him Dictator Dan. And then we had, on the other side, there were plenty of people bringing him up too. I mean, let's be real. He put in the work, and even if there were mistakes made, none of us were prepared for this situation. Nobody. And that is across the whole world. And I think that a lot of people seem to forget that it is people who are doing this, and Dan is not a professional in the sense of a pandemic. Nobody really is in terms of leadership positions. And they're just doing what they can. But the fact is that Gladys has basically insulted multiple members of parliament and multiple leaders in our community because she didn't agree that people should be locked down. Well, if we look at what has actually legitimately happened and all of the idiocy of Australia, we will see that we have Gladys has, you know, refused to lock down after belittling other people, so she probably, like, in my personal opinion, to avoid looking as stupid and as ignorant as she did last year. So she's refused to lock people down. Then we've got the fact that she locked down late, right? And she refused to put a ring of steel around Sydney multiple times, reinfected multiple states, right? Then sat there blaming everybody else. Like, how many chances? And need I remind you of the corruption last year that she did? And all those people who say, no, she couldn't have known. If you're dating somebody, you have a pretty good idea of what they're like. And the fact is that in that phone call, she was saying things like, oh, just don't tell me about this. She knew that something was going on, and if you turn a blind eye to a situation like that, you're just as guilty. So how many chances does this woman need to have? Then we've also got the fact that she has, you know, She has basically been involved in allowing koala habitat, and I know that people are going to say I'm quoting Friendly Joddies, but the reality is that she has done that, and I think that at this stage, enough is enough. I mean, realistically, the reason why I care about this so much is because she has, you know, not only done stuff to her state, which includes people that I care about genuinely, she has also done stuff to other states, including my state. And she has sat there basically belittling what we were doing last year by insulting Dan. And it's just ridiculous, because something like this really should not be made about, you know, politics. It should be about making sure that we're all okay. And I just really hate the fact that this is what the world has become. Anyway, I guess I will leave it at that. If you guys are interested in more content like this, feel free to watch. Otherwise, I do have a Twitch as well for my gaming content, and I will possibly, you know, upload some stuff here as well. So, yeah, I guess that's my rant over. I just wanted to make a video about this, so, yeah.